we're going to go over Disney. And Disney's a different one for me because going through the pandemic, they have had a complete shutdown, or now I guess they're open 25% in some parks, but more or less a complete shutdown for Disney, which is 40 to 45% of their annual revenue that comes from parks, which includes concessions, which includes buying merchandise, which includes cruise lines, hotels overnight, and all of that is just kind of taken away from them. But you can see over the past basically 12 months, they have gone from $80 a share to now $200 a share. And I thought it was interesting, so I started going on and looking at their financials and stuff, and I noticed they didn't have a PE. So last year, 2020, I guess their financial year ends in September of 20, or September of every year. They lost $2.864 billion. So they didn't even make money last year. I mean, they generated revenue, but they didn't make a income. And also another thing that I noticed, and I did not know, is that they have been diluting their shares over the past 2 years now. And that's a big jump. That's a big jump. So Disney, this is a very surprising thing to me about Disney. I know this, we're not looking at financials here, but I would just like to look at their total current assets and total current liabilities. Okay. All right. They're fine there. So this is different. Disney is different, but I guess they're going to be reopening their parks, and their stock price has come off of its March lows 140%, which is to me unwarranted because they've been not doing anything. And again, this is just more projecting that things are going to be great. So the Walt Disney World, Shanghai, and Hong Kong are open. Paris, Disneyland, California parks remain closed. Paris will open on April 2nd. California said that they will reopen in April at 15% capacity. So again, I look at these 15% capacity things, same as restaurants. It might be losing them more money than it's actually making them. Just to be able to, you have to keep the lights on, you got to employ people, but you're not generating the same revenue. So, oh well. Let's look at Disney from a technical perspective and see what we got here. So yesterday, and remember, when we do technicals, we're not worried about those things. We're not worried about the financials. I just found it interesting. We can just trade it as what our pattern tells us because we don't care what the stock is. We don't care what the price is until we have to buy and see how much we can afford and go from there. So Disney has had, this little sweet spot reversal, and it's moving back into this overbought range. It got a little bump on yesterday, and that's because of the news that came out. So we're going to see what happens there. If you want to do something, let me zoom out here and take a look at what we got. And I believe this is this is a power stock. So right now with this, we are above all four of our major moving averages, and we are making this is our previous 52-week high. We're making all of these new highs being over our major moving average. So this is what we consider a power stock. So if we make a new high today, kind of like that, and break out, or say like that, we can go ahead and add to this because it's continuing a power stock. So that's what we're going to do on our long-term chart, and let's see what we get out of this. Disney's looking okay. Do I believe in their financials? Of course not, but let us see what happens. Let's go over to the daily chart and see if we can do some kind of swing. This is the kind of chart that you want to do a swing trade on. You're over all of your major moving averages. You don't have any support yet above you because there's nothing up there. These are all-time highs. So eventually some kind of support line will be built in. I guess this would be considered the support line right now, which was the high from yesterday, and it kind of came back down on us. So if we can get through this level, that's pretty good. All I really want on this is some good volume like yesterday, or maybe a little bit like the day before. This would be ideal, these two right here. Keep this trend going up, get a good engulfing candlestick that's green, and you can trade this thing as a swing and kind of see what happens. The one thing I will warn about, of course we're pre-market right now, it's only 8:30. The bid and ask difference is high, but this is pre-market trading. So once the market opens, wait till 10:06, let everything settle down, all the pre-market trading, all the futures contracts, let all that stuff settle down. and then go ahead and do it if your bid and ask difference is 1 cent. Let's go to the daily, or the 15 minute. So almost down 1% this morning, and we're not going to be able to tell much from right now just because the volume is so low. You can see when I was talking about aftermarket trading, look how low the volume is. There's basically nothing there. That's why if somebody came in and bought, say, 100,000 shares of Disney, this price is going to spike up, and we're going to be positive for the day just because there's not that much volume going on right now. So right now we're set to open a little bit lower than yesterday's close, which is no big deal. What I would want to see if I would want to go long on this is, let's say this is 9 o'clock or 9:30 in the morning. I would like to see it open up green like that, and this stochastic kind of turn up a little bit. Remember, once this stochastic gets over 80% and hovers around between 80 and 100 on its stochastic line up here, this is a 15-minute trade, guys, then we just need engulfing candlesticks and good green volume bars like this, consistent, and then you can go ahead and make this a long-term trade. If we want to do a short on it, depending on what it's going to do at the open, we will. This is a perfect one back here. Let's go over here. This is from Friday. You had an engulfing candlestick coming down. You had selling volume all morning, and you were under 20%. Remember, we have to be between 0 and 20 and just hover in this range with our trend line with engulfing candlesticks that are coming down. So you could have added there. Probably could have added here. Then when this thing, this thing didn't really do anything. We had another engulfing candlestick, and then our trend started to change on us, and we started to move positive. Once that trend line breaks over 20%, that's when we're exiting our position, taking our profits off the table, getting our money from 191 to, we'll go here, 187. So a couple dollars a share in a very short amount of time. So that's it from a 15 perspective. So remember, when I do the 15-minute perspective when we're not live, just remember that I'm just teaching you guys. This is not how the trade is going to go. I just want to just drill this into your head. This is how you do a 15-minute trade. Yesterday was another good example. You could have added right here because you were over 80% and just let it, as it stayed over 80% pretty much the entire day, you could have just kept adding on engulfing candlesticks and riding this thing up. When you drop below 80%, you get a little bit of a sell-off, take your profits, trade's over, you make a lot of money. So 15-minute day trading is pretty easy when you do it the right way and follow the rules. So let's just do a quick recap. Disney, I guess, is opening their parks. Keep a watch for it. Disney's one of those ones that's going to move on news. So long-term trade. We are a power stock right now. If we get an engulfing candlestick like that over yesterday's high, you can go ahead and add to it. On our daily chart as a swing trade, we're overall 4 of our major moving averages. Pretty decent buying volume coming in. Great uptrend coming through the sweet spot. If you make a new high, new all-time high, you can go ahead and add to it. 15-minute chart, depending on what this does this morning, if it stays down or if it goes up, just remember, if you're going to go long on it, be over 80%, get good good green buying volume and engulfing candlesticks. If it's on the downside, get good red selling volume. Make sure it's under 20% and ride it until then. So if you guys like this, join Mo's Muscles Patreon group. I do all this stuff. I could teach you how to day trade in more detail. I could teach you how to do long-term trading. I'm not all about day trading. I do not even day trade. I never do. It just doesn't interest me. I don't want to sit at my computer. I am more of a long-term trader. I want to sit in something for a couple of weeks to a couple of months. So those of you that think that you don't have time to do this, you can do this. You do not have to sit on your computer every day. Hell, you don't even have to check your chart every day. Invest in something long-term and let it ride over time. And I will be there to follow the stock for you and guide you. You can ask me your questions about it anytime you want to. But that's it for now. So you guys have a great day. Good luck trading, and I'll see you in the Patreon.